Good Thursday afternoon, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love CVille Show. Great to be with you on a glorious day to be alive. We are live in Charlottesville, across Albemarle County, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. The next 60 minutes content that will pertain to your family, your kids, your friends, your businesses, and your community. Long-form content where we spotlight the best of Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia. A lot we're going to cover on today's show, including the governor of South Carolina going on record saying parents of kids in South Carolina, parents get to determine whether their kids wear masks in school starting this fall. We will lead with that. We will also talk 12 to 15-year-olds across America today are getting the COVID-19 vaccination. 12 to 15-year-olds today are getting the vaccination in our fair country. We have a brand new vineyard in Albemarle County. The soft opening is Saturday. I may go to the soft opening myself with my family. It is a special place, and we will tell you about Mary Mill Farm and Vineyard today on the I Love CVille Show. I want to talk about the Fontaine Streetscape project. The Fontaine Streetscape project in the news as we try to, the community, revitalize, improve, just make the infrastructure and the corridor and the roadway more efficient, more pedestrian and bicycle friendly, more business friendly. We'll talk about the Fontaine Avenue Streetscape project, and I want to also brainstorm other corridors, other streetscapes that need a little bit of TLC. We'll call it some tender loving care. I want to talk the High Street corridor after we talk Fontaine Avenue. Folks, I have been adamant on this show and on this network that the High Street corridor is the next one that needs a little TLC and some revitalization. We'll talk UVA graduation. The 2020 graduation that was postponed last year due to the pandemic will be hosted Sunday. So we'll go over the details of the 2020 graduation that'll happen on Sunday and the 2021 graduation that's going to happen next weekend. It's back-to-back graduations in Charlottesville, Virginia. We'll see how well the graduations perform from an engagement standpoint, specifically parents coming to Charlottesville, students returning to Charlottesville. The 2020 graduation, most of these students, large majority of these students, already out of town and in the workforce. So I'm going to be curious to see how many of the 2020 student body that's already been in the workforce, how willing it is to return to Charlottesville for a graduation ceremony that is 1 year later than it's supposed to be. That topic on the show. We'll talk Wawa grand openings. I passed the Wawa on Pantops today. The line was out the door for MTOs, made-to-order sandwiches. Is the MTO at Wawa, or is that Sheetz, Judah? Is the MTO at Wawa, or is it Sheetz? The MTO is Sheetz. The made-to-order sandwich is at Sheetz, right? That's at Sheetz. Wawa is still known for subs. I'm going to ask you this very difficult question. Of all the subs available at gas stations, which gas station sub in this community is the best? Of all the subs, the hoagies and sandwiches and Sammys that you can buy at a fuel station, which one is the most delectable, delightful, and delicious? That topic on the I Love CVille Show. Let's lead with South Carolina, Judah. I don't know if you saw this story, but the governor of South Carolina goes on record and he says it's up to parents. Governor Henry McMaster. And I'm going to read the quote from Governor Henry McMaster. Today, I am issuing Executive Order 2021-23, which empowers South Carolina parents to decide whether their children should wear masks in public schools throughout the state. Further, this order has explicitly prohibited this order also explicitly prohibits any county or local governments in the state of South Carolina from relying on prior orders or using a state of emergency as the basis for a local mask mandate, and bars all state agencies, local governments, and political subdivisions from requiring what has commonly been referred to as, quote, vaccine passports, quote, for any reason. This is monumental. The governor of South Carolina goes on record. He issues an executive order. This executive order empowers the parents in the state of South Carolina to decide on their own whether their kids will wear a mask inside a school this coming semester in public schools in South Carolina. Furthermore, the governor of South Carolina is prohibiting county and local governments in the state from relying on previous orders or laws or from using a state of emergency as the basis for a local mask mandate. The governor of South Carolina just pretty much kiboshed masks, or at least gave parents the autonomy to make the decision for their kids in wearing these masks in schools. And the governor of South Carolina is pretty much poo-pooing vaccine passports. That literally is what's happening right now in South Carolina. Furthermore, vaccines are now available for 12 to 15-year-olds all over America. Starting today, 12 to 15-year-olds are getting an injection in their arm to help protect them from COVID. I'm going to add to this topic by highlighting what's happening in Hanover County, Virginia. In Hanover County, Virginia, the public school system and the county in totality is going to start offering vaccinations to middle and high school students on Tuesday. So here we have, in our fair country, we have a supply of vaccinations so plentiful and so abundant and so deep that anyone 12 years old and older can walk into a vaccination clinic and get the needle in their arm. In Hanover County, Virginia, the municipality on Tuesday will be encouraging, almost soliciting, middle and high school students to get the needle in their arm on Tuesday. The supply is abundant. Consumer confidence is tangible, palpable even. The governor of South Carolina is empowering parents and saying, Mommy and Daddy, you can determine if Johnny or Susie have to wear their mask in schools. It's not local government that's going to determine that. The governor of South Carolina is legitimately poo-pooing the vaccination passport concept. We're going into this very nebulous, this very fluid purgatory period. And within this nebulous, fluid purgatory period, you have some governors that are operating their state as if COVID-19 was absolutely eradicated from America. You have other governors ruling their state as if COVID-19 is very thick and very real and very prevalent still. In this purgatory period, you have the CDC changing guidelines daily. In this purgatory period, you have 16-year-old and 17-year-old hostesses that are basically being asked to be the bouncers, demanding that patrons sit 6 feet apart or don't crowd around the bar. In this purgatory period, you have 12 to 15-year-olds able to get the vaccine in their arm because the supply is so abundant and so readily available. In this purgatory period, you have Hanover County soliciting 12 to 15-year-olds to get the vaccine as early as Tuesday. Folks, This is the wild, wild west. We are fresh, we hope, out of a pandemic that mankind hasn't seen since the Spanish flu. And as we get out of these dark, dark times into what we hope is the glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel, we have government agencies unsure of how to respond. We have governors issuing different edicts depending on the state you live upon. We have parents now being asked to determine whether their son or daughter shall wear masks in the hallways of schools in one state. We got bars open in Florida as if the pandemic never existed, and we got a governor in Virginia with a medical background that on the 15th of May is expected to very much relax COVID restrictions. This is the wild, wild west. Saddle up your horse to that post outside the saloon. Walk into the saloon with those doors that swing open wide. Walk onto the hardwood floors of the saloon after the doors have swung open. The light is on Biff Tannen. He's walking into the OK Corral in the Wild West with his spurs clicking the wood and the chewing tobacco dripping off his chin. He may be looking for gold. He may be looking for gold nuggets in the river or an oil rush. But folks, it's the wild, wild west nevertheless. Did you think in May of 2021 you would see a gas shortage where nearly 60% of the gas stations in the Commonwealth of Virginia were out of gasoline? I live in eastern Albemarle County in the Keswick area. Driving into work this morning, I passed the Legacy Market at the crossroads there at Keswick Road. Legacy Market had bags all over its gas pumps. I'm driving into town. I passed the Everyday Cafe by the Giant grocery store and the DMV. Bags over the gas pumps. I'm driving down Pantops Mountain to Freebridge. I passed the grand opening of one of two Wawas, this one on Pantops. The Wawa on Pantops had gasoline. Today was its grand opening. Of course it had gasoline. This is the first time it's accepted patrons. The Wawa on Pantops and the Wawa on Prophet Road is probably going to have a record-setting sales day. Its competitors have no fuel. You have the novelty of Wawa's coming to the market and some tasty sandwiches, and it's left me, Jerry Miller, asking, damn it, what is the best sandwich from a gasoline in this area? We will try to answer that very difficult question today on the I Love CVille Show. But I want to ask you this. In May 2021, if I told you we would be fresh out of a pandemic that shut down America for 14 or 15 months and scared the bejeebus out of us, if I told you in May 2021 we would be fresh off a terrifying pandemic, we would be facing an epic labor shortage. We would be facing 55 to 60% of the gas stations in the Commonwealth of Virginia without fuel. We would be asking 12-year-old children to inject a vaccination in their arm that maybe has had 8 to 10 months of research. That we would be just fresh off 3 semesters of digital and virtual learning where Johnny and Susie were learning their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s in the coat closet instead of inside of a classroom. If I told you that we would be experiencing and facing inflation of proportions that are going to be, in a couple of months, a $250 grocery bill could be $350 or $400, with labor wages staying stagnant and not increasing potentially to the point of set inflation, if I told you all these things would be happening, that a Russian dark web syndicate could hack the largest American fuel pipeline from all the way on the other side of the world, causing the pipeline to shut down? The same Russian web syndicate could use dark web tactics to hack the Washington, D.C. Police Department and to get data on informants, to get data, private information on police officers. For example, they hacked the Washington, D.C. Police Department and has private information on police officers, like which police officers admitted in their interviews that they were sexually molested, had drinking or alcohol problems at one time, sexual proclivities, private information that you have to reveal during a job search that you would expect would remain private is now in the hands of a dark web Russian syndicate, the same that hacked the pipeline. If I told you all this stuff would be happening at the same damn time in America, you would say, Jerry Miller, are the locusts coming next? What is it in the Bible? Was it the locusts?
It was 10 plagues.
10 plagues. Can you get your microphone in front of you? Because you're a biblical scholar, my friend. What were the 10 plagues, my biblical scholar, Judah Wickhoward, today? One of them was the damn locust, was it not?
One of them was the locust. I don't know about it. I don't think it was 10, and I'm not a big biblical scholar.
Come on, biblical scholar. What were the plagues?
There were frogs, there were locusts, there was blood in the water, there was, boils.
How about the Russian dark syndicate hacking the Colonial Pipeline? How about COVID-19 and masks and vaccinations that have 8 months of research and governors with different rules and regulations depending on the invisible line that we call states?
Not in the Bible.
That wasn't in the Bible? That wasn't in the Old Testament? That isn't in the King James Version?
Nope.
Good night. The next thing we're going to see at the end of this month is an art going down Market Street with a couple of giraffes and a couple of elephants and a couple of kangaroos and a couple of shih tzus and a couple of parrots and a couple of kitty cats. There's a new vineyard coming to Albemarle County. This is good news. This is a positive news. The newest vineyard coming to Albemarle County, boys and girls. I recently got invited to the soft opening of this vineyard, which is, I'm looking at the invitation now, Saturday the 15th of May. That's this Saturday. The vineyard is called Mary Mill Farm and Vineyard. You got some photos for us for this, don't you?
Yeah.
Let us know when those photos are on screen. My dear friend, Judah B. Wickhoward, my biblical scholar, my aficionado of the King James Version. The website is marymillfarm.com, J-dubs. Mary is spelled Merrie. That is the name of the road. It is in Keswick. 594 Mary Mill Farm. I'm going to read you a little bit from the About page. Judah's rotating photos on screen of the owners of this family, the Pelleys, husband and wife and 2 beautiful daughters. In 2007, we were in Charlottesville. This is the Pelleys writing on their website on the About page. In 2017, we were in Charlottesville for a friend's wedding when we became enchanted with Virginia. The idea of starting a vineyard sparked and took hold. Just a year later, we purchased Mary Mill Farm, moving our family from the United Kingdom. The property, for its buildings and land, spoke to our love of wine, architecture, interior design, and the outdoors. So with our young daughter Willow and another on our way, we moved into a small cottage on the property. While Elizabeth oversaw the restoration and renovation of the main house, I took to the fields. The last 3 years have been long and good. We were thrilled to learn much of our fields consist of rare Monteo soil, a rocky and well-draining soil, perfect for growing grapes. But Mother Nature, she is a fickle mistress. Our first viable crop, due for the 2020 vintage, was lost to a devastating historic frost. Heartbreaking and humbling, our year of hard work and vision for our first vintage was gone in an evening. Again, this spring, we watched over our vines a few anxious nights as the temperatures dipped dangerously low, but we were fortunately spared. Meanwhile, we had an old tractor barn demolished to construct our new 5,000 square foot tasting room. Elizabeth and team designed the tasting room to feel like a home, sourcing electric antique furnishings, personal artwork, and antique taxidermy to bring together a space that has to be seen to be believed. I will stop right there. I wish Guy, his wife Elizabeth, and his two beautiful daughters, Willow and Clementine, all the best. This is the newest vineyard for Central Virginia, Albemarle County specifically, in the Keswick area, 594 Mary Mill Farm. The soft opening is Saturday. It's a husband and wife, two daughters, and it's the type of business we love to support and rally around. I can't wait. And frankly speaking, I'm going to highlight this. Andre Xavier, if you're watching, this will appeal to you. The Keswick area needs one or two more vineyards, wineries, or breweries to kind of create a vineyard brewery trail system. You know how 150 Fun, as we've dubbed it, has a bunch of breweries lined up in a row? Western Albemarle also has a bunch of wineries that you can kind of connect, where you can spend an afternoon or an entire day on a hop-on tour or a Camryn Limousine limo, getting in a vehicle and going from winery to winery. The Keswick area, Eastern Albemarle County, really does not have that. They have Jefferson, Keswick, and Castle Hill, soon Patch Brewery in Gordonsville, although that's in Orange County. Patch Brewery is tied nicely together with Well Hung, with the Ice House, with Barbecue Exchange. Eastern Albemarle, the Keswick area, needs a couple of more vineyards and breweries besides Castle Hill, Jefferson, and Keswick to create a more robust trail that can compete with, say, Western Albemarle or Nelson County 151 for kind of like a trail where you can hop around different spots over the course of a day. So Mary Mill Farm is certainly going to help build that type of trail in Eastern Albemarle County. All right, the next topic is one that I think is going to hit close to home for many. And that's the Fontaine Streetscape project. It's been in the news of late. Judah, do you have the photos from the website? What was the website? Do you remember the website?
FontaineStreetscape.com.
So FontaineStreetscape.com? Thank you. So FontaineStreetscape.com, I'm going to go to that website. Judah's going to rotate photos from the current Fontaine Streetscape on screen. Are you doing that now, my friend? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So this streetscape is home to the delicious Guadalajara. Johnny Ornelas, amigo, homie. Love you, Johnny Ornelas. If you were here, I'd give you a flying chest bump, a fist bump. We'd be drinking some margaritas together. I love Johnny Ornelas in Guadalajara. Fontaine is home to Atlas Coffee. Fontaine Streetscape is home to Fry Spring Station. I love Fry Spring Station, J-Dubs. Fontaine is home to Dirty Nelly's. One of the best trivia questions that I ask is, what is the only bar in the city of Charlottesville with no windows? The only bar in the city of Charlottesville with literally no windows is Dirty Nelly's. St. Martin's used to have, remember St. Martin's on the corner? St. Martin's had no windows. So there used to be two bars, watering holes in the city of Charlottesville that had no windows. Dirty Nelly's and St. Martin's. Now it's only Dirty Nelly's. Dirty Nelly's is also the answer to another one of my trivia questions. Where can you find wood-burning fireplaces in the city of Charlottesville? You can obviously find one at Dirty Nelly's. So you have a lot of really good locally owned businesses, brands, just like community staples. I mean, Dirty Nelly's is an institution, right? Dirty Nelly's is a freaking institution. Guadalajara, I've been in Charlottesville since my first year at the University of Virginia. And I've been eating at that Guadalajara since my first year. So, I mean, I think that Guadalajara on Fontaine, Johnny, how long has that Guadalajara been there? At least 21 years, right? I mean, the Fontaine Streetscape is legit. It is super legit. I think we would all agree that the Fontaine Streetscape could be more legit. I think anyone on the Fontaine Streetscape from a business standpoint would love to see even more student patronage. I think if the Fontaine Streetscape had a stronger commitment to pedestrian and bicycle safety, that it would see more traffic, more consumer and spending traffic. The Fontaine Streetscape is an important entry point in and out of the city of Charlottesville with the interstate right there. It can get congested car traffic wise at rush hour and morning and returning home to work. But if you get some quality pedestrian bicycle safety in this streetscape has got walkable density. You got a neighborhood in Fry Springs and JPA that does patronize these businesses and would patronize these businesses even more, I believe. Now, this got me to thinking, which streetscapes are underachieving in and around the city of Charlottesville? And I'm going to cut to the chase. I do not think that there is a streetscape or a corridor of the city of Charlottesville that is underachieving more than the High Street corridor. You look at High Street, and I call High Street that area between, say, the old Martha Jefferson Hospital, the CFA. Isn't that where CFA is? CFA is there, the old Martha Jefferson Hospital. All the way to, heck, why don't you call it to Freebridge? You call it all the way to Freebridge. I want to include that food truck corner where Tacos Gomez and Angelique's set up. That's Mr. Cosner's corner, kind of a caddy corner, not caddy corner, across the street from Cosner Brothers. Mr. Cosner, the Cosner family only charges $20 for those food trucks to set up each day. Okay, so if you walk with me, and I want you to visualize the old Martha Jefferson Hospital and start heading down High Street where you have La Michoacana on your right, you have Tubby's on your right, you have Zenice's Jack and Jill's on the right. I love Zenice. I like Zenice. I told you the story. I almost bought my first piece of commercial real estate from Zenice. We negotiated an after-hours real estate deal with Zenice and Dr. Hurt. Then we had, what was the Greek liquor I always forget? Sambuco?
Sambuca? I don't know.
Sambuca or Ouzo?
Ouzo
we had
Greek.
after.
I don't think Sambuca is
Sambuca
Greek.
Or Ouzo we had after trying to negotiate this deal. Anyway, you're walking down High Street. You're going from the old Martha Jefferson Hospital to Freebridge. You're passing La Michoacana, you're passing Jack and Jill's, you're passing Tubby's on your right, you got Riverside Burger on your left, you got Fabio's on your left. Fabio's has got damn good pizza. Love Mike, love Sazo. You got that food truck court where Tacos Gomez is and Angelique's and a handful of other trucks. You got the Rivanna River Company tucked there kind of behind Cosner's, and then you head to Freebridge. That corridor from Martha Jefferson to Freebridge, I'm going to make a statement here, is the most underachieving streetscape and corridor in the city of Charlottesville. It's got piss poor bicycle, walker, pedestrian, and runner safety. There are many aspects of High Street, there are many portions of High Street that don't even have a sidewalk. The road is also super narrow on both sides. That corridor is also an entry point from Albemarle County, Pantops, Eastern Albemarle, into the city of Charlottesville. Freebridge down High Street is how a hell of a lot of people get into the city of Charlottesville. That corridor is also adjacent to the downtown. It's also adjacent to North Downtown, an extremely affluent neighborhood with deep pockets. It's right next to Belmont and Woollen Mills. I would bet that there is not a corridor or streetscape or street or area that is underachieving more than the High Street corridor from a bicycle, pedestrian, walker, approachability, inviting mindset. Give me one. Prove me wrong. Put it on the feed. And I see a lot of people saying Cherry Avenue. I see it on Twitter, I see it on Instagram, I see it on Facebook. A lot of people are saying the Cherry Avenue corridor is underachieving right now. Jerry Miller. That's one to consider. I would say the High Street corridor is underachieving more than the Cherry Avenue corridor. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. The High Street corridor, one of my buddies, Mike McAdams. Someone tell Mike McAdams that I'm dropping his name on the show. Mike McAdams. Gentleman farmer, Mike McAdams. Tell Mike McAdams I called him a gentleman farmer, please. He suggested this. We were in agreement that the High Street corridor is tremendously underachieving. He said, he came up with this idea of creating a river walk of some capacity along the Rivanna River, kind of behind Cosner Brothers in the Rivanna River Company. It's already paved and asphalted. You can create a river walk that has maybe some like tiki hut type bars and eateries along the river walk. That river walk goes parallel to High Street into town along the Rivanna. That river walk can be associated and mingled and tied to the RT, the Rivanna Trail, that has a trailhead right there by Freebridge. Can you imagine how many pedestrians, bicycle riders, walkers and runners, people in canoes and kayaks would patronize and spend their money along a river walk on High Street, right along the Rivanna River? Can you imagine if we called the High Street corridor the Rivanna River District corridor instead? Maybe you call it the River District corridor. And you brand this street with River District moniker. You get better sidewalks, better pedestrian, bicycle, and walker safety. You already have some density with the neighborhoods there along High Street. If you can encourage the High Street neighborhoods to walk to the businesses along High Street and not be fearful of their lives, specifically vehicle traffic that's going well over 25 miles an hour along that road, and then you add a river walk on top of the bicycle, pedestrian, and walker safety along the road, that corridor would be dynamite, dynamic. That corridor would be impactful. Prove to me that there's a corridor in this area, corridor, that's a tough word for me to say, a streetscape in this area that's underachieving more than High Street. I would challenge you to find one. I touched on this already. 2 new Wawas opened, one on Pantops and one on Prophet Road. The Wawas that are open got me thinking today on the think tank. Which gas stations have the best subs, hoagies, sandwiches, Sammys? You got Sheetz and the MTO. You got the Wawa. The Wawa sub's not bad. I think bar none, for the money, for what it's worth, the best gas station sandwich, and it ain't even close, is Tiger Fuel. It's Bel Air Market. It's the Keswick with some extra cheese and a non-toasted French bread. They're delectable, they're delicious, they're downright awesome. I needed another D word. Delectable, delicious, downright for the alliteration. Help me, Judah, help me. Delectable, delicious, downright, something tasty, synonymous with tasty, my friend. Where's your alliteration skill set, my friend?
I'm thinking.
Come on, what do you got, buddy? Delectable, delicious, downright. Anything?
I'm trying
Come
to
on.
blank.
Come on, wordsmith.
Drawing a
Delectable, delicious, downright delightful. Delectable, delicious, downright delightful. How about delectable, delicious, downright distinctive? No, delightful's better. I think it's Tiger Fuel. The Tiger Fuel Keswick is, the sub from Tiger Fuel, the Keswick is, for me, bar none for the bunny. Gordon and Taylor, Sutton's, you get the best gas station sub. Delectable, delicious,
Divine.
Downright delightful.
Divine?
All right, you sing your tagline, I'll sing mine. Let's see which one is more catchy. You go first.
I don't have a tag.
No, delectable, delicious, downright divine. Can you sing that?
No.
Yeah, okay. It's not going to sing that. Damn it, Judah. I'm going to go downright divine or downright delightful. It's downright delightful has better rhyme structure. Delectable, delicious, downright delightful. That has better rhyme structure. We're going to go delightful. All right, 2 more items out of the notebook, and I'll get to your comments. Champion Brewery, Hunter Smith's outfit. Hunter Smith's brand is offering a free beer with proof of vaccination, and you don't even need to be fully vaccinated. If you've had 1 shot and you show that you've had 1 shot, you get a free beer from Hunter Smith and Champion Brewing Company. If you've been fully vaccinated, you get a full beer. I am surprised. That there has not been, Judah, more vaccination promotions in hospitality and food and beverage. I'm surprised there's been no more proof of vaccination. You get this. Half off apps with proof of vaccination. Free appetizer with proof of vaccination. Free cold beer with proof of vaccination. Free dessert with proof of vaccination. Free pizza. Free buy one, get one free with proof of vaccination. There's so many strategies, marketing call to actions that you could do here. Free lazy rolls, proof of vaccination. Free pitcher, proof of vaccination. I love the lazy rolls, Judah. You know where the lazy rolls are from? Lazy Parrot Grill. Cassie Delight and the lazy rolls are fantastic. So Champion, I think, is Champion Hunter not the first to offer the marketing promotion for proof of vaccination? I think he is. He does a lot of things first. You gotta give some props to that guy as a businessman. All right, 2 other items out of the notebook, and I'm gonna get to your comments here. I see the comments coming in. The first of 2 back-to-back weekends of UVA graduation kicks off this Sunday. The about 2,800 members of the class of 2020 could come back on Sunday with their family for congratulatory celebrations. Remember, the class of 2020 had their graduation eradicated, or at least put on pause because of COVID-19. It wasn't eradicated, it was put on pause because of COVID-19. And now we have back-to-back weekends in the city of Charlottesville and in Central Virginia with graduation. The 2020 ceremonies are Sunday. The 2021 ceremonies are next weekend. So those are going to truly be a barometer of consumer confidence. If the corner, the downtown mall, if Midtown, if Fontaine, if High Street, if they're crowded, if they're busy, if they're popping like they normally are, which I expect them to be, then that's another indicator that good consumer confidence is through the roof. Back-to-back weekends of graduation here in the city of Charlottesville. That should be a boom, or is it a boom or a boon for the economy?
A boon is something beneficial. A boom would be something that caused
So either one works, and that's
money into the market.
Either one works in that sentence. Boom or boom. Mm-hmm. Did you know mom spelled upside down as well?
Wow.
Judah, delectable, delicious, downright delightful. That's good.
I don't think you need the downright.
You don't think you need the downright?
I don't think it fits.
We'll agree to disagree like we do on so many things, my friend. Vanessa Parkhill says it's the best gas station sandwiches, no doubt, Bel El Market. Vanessa Parkhill, you have very good taste. Andre Xavier, good friend of the program. Oh, Russ Haley says deliriously delicious. Delectable. Delicious. Seriously delightful. That's okay, Russ. Russ, you're a wordsmith as well. I know you're at one time a journalist. Andre Xavier says, here is the best kept secret route for anyone looking for a new experience away from 151. Start on 231, visit Keswick Vineyards, Castle Hill, and then soon stop at Patch Brewery. Good job, Andre Xavier. We knew Andre was going to get Patch in there. He says start at 231, visit Keswick Vineyards, Castle Hill, and then soon Patch Brewery. That's going to be Andre's business with John Craig. Have a great lunch at Barbecue Exchange or at Ice House. Do some shopping at the historical Gordonsville downtown. Stop at Well Hung Vineyards. Neil Williamson getting some love right there. Take a drive towards the market at Grelin. Enjoy their amazing homemade ice cream, and finish the day at Barboursville Winery. This is one amazing day to one of the most scenic drives in Virginia. You could get back into town via Route 33 into 29. I like that, Andre. That's legit. Andre Xavier, co-owner CVille Hop on Tours. I love that. Dude, you will be feeling really nice if you go Keswick Vineyards, Castle Hill, Patch Brewery, lunch at BBQ Exchange or the Ice House, some Shoppingsville at Gordonsville downtown, a glass of wine at Well Hung, some homemade ice cream at the market at Grelin, and then a wine to finish the day at Barboursville Winery. Hop On has a Barboursville route, Andre says. There are several options already, but next year we will have many more. I mean, we're going to have another vineyard in the mix and Patch Brewery in the mix, and Well Hung in Gordonsville is really starting to get in the groove. So that area from a winery, brewery, hop on, went from underserved to really popping. I like to see that for Eastern Albemarle County. This comes in via Twitter. Jerry, drive down Cherry Avenue and you can see this quarter is very much underachieving. It certainly can rival High Street as the most underachieving in CVille. I said Cherry Avenue could be included in there. The frustrating aspect for me of the Cherry Avenue quarter is this. This is the frustrating aspect for me. When you get off Ridge Street and you pull onto Cherry Avenue, the first thing you see on the right is the hotel. The hotel is out of place from a character neighborhood standpoint, okay? A hotel is not symbolic of neighborhood character. The second thing you see on Cherry Avenue when you pull onto the corridor or onto the street, you go into Fifeville, is the Kim's Market grocery store that has been converted into the Charlottesville headquarters for a construction company that has a contract with UVA from construction, remodeling, and making the area, the grounds look good. This construction company is based in the Valley. Instead of having its heavy equipment drive from Charlottesville to the Valley every day to return the heavy equipment, it's choosing to rent the Kim's Market grocery store, and it's converted Kim's Market to its headquarters, its Charlottesville headquarters. The drive from UVA grounds to Kim's Market is nothing. So the fuel, the wear and tear in the car, labor overhead, it's all being kept down, and it's all superseding the cost of the rent. My frustration with the Cherry Avenue corridor is the first thing you see is a hotel that is not true to neighborhood character. The second thing you see is a headquarters for a Shenandoah Valley construction company. Right? If the entry to the corridor was more dynamic and appealing and approachable, that would help lead the way for the corridor. That's why I've been adamant that the city of Charlottesville and City Hall purchase the Kim's Market property, the building and the land. The building's a freaking teardown. The land's the value. Put some affordable housing there and use the rest of the space for the new home of the Charlottesville Farmers Market. The Charlottesville Farmers Market is on a piece of asphalt off Water Street that is not approachable. The asphalt radiates heat, and in the dog days of the Charlottesville summer, it is downright stifling from a humidity and heat standpoint. It's also very crowded. City of Charlottesville, buy the Kim's Market land, use most of the land for affordable housing. You could create a joint venture with Piedmont Housing, Habitat for Humanity, or the Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust, and then use the rest of that acreage to bring the farmers market away from Water Street to Cherry Avenue, where you have then created a welcoming and inviting and an approachable landmark or reason to visit the corridor, the farmers market. On top of that, you're bringing healthy cuisine, healthy food to a grocery desert. The Cherry Avenue corridor is a grocery desert. What is the closest grocery store to Cherry Avenue? And remember, not everybody has cars, and they rely on public transportation to get everywhere. So if you don't have grocery stores within walking distance of a neighborhood, that becomes a grocery desert. The closest grocery store to Cherry Avenue is what, J-Dubs? Is it Reed's on Preston? Is it the Market Street Market next to us? I mean, because the Reed's on Preston and the Market Street Market next to us, when you're asking somebody to go public transportation or walk with grocery bags, that's far. Cherry Avenue is a grocery desert, right? I guess it's High Street and Cherry Avenue with the two most underachieving corridors in the city of Charlottesville. All right, that's the show. Thank you for joining us. It's a great day to be alive. It's what's today? A Thursday. It's Baby Friday. Happy Baby Friday to you. First of two graduations is this weekend. 2020 is Sunday. 2021 is next weekend. After that, locals, we return to the corner. We go back to Midtown. We go to the corner, and we start walking around again. Summer, the townie, takes Charlottesville back over. That's 2 weeks away. Thank you for joining us on the I Love CVille Show. My name is Jerry Miller. It's a beautiful Thursday on the I Love CVille Network. You guys have a good afternoon. I mean, I think Reed's might be the closest one.